Welcome, everyone, to the Sunny Coast's very own podcast called The Referral Wave, Riding the Tide to Success. My name's Tony Cross, and by day, I have a business called Drive Connect Car Brokers. But today, I'm here with Reid from LJ Hooker Commercial, part of my own chapter, BNI Business Sunrise. And we've got Reid on the show today. So, welcome, Reid.
G'day, how's it going? Thanks for having
Yeah,
me.
no worries at all. So, Reid, tell us a little bit about LJ Hooker Commercial. You're not residential agents, obviously, but tell us a little bit about what you do there.
I myself am in sales and leasing in commercial property. I prefer to sort of stick to industrial sales and industrial leasing. But our office covers, and myself have covered, all asset classes of commercial real estate, be it medical, retail, office, the whole range of different things that there are, because there's so many more. But we've been on the coast operating for coming on 3 years now, just under 3 years. So I started with the business when they opened it up. Um, Obviously, my directors, the franchisees, also have an office in Toowoomba, which is where I'm originally from. So that's sort of how I got the job up here. Got the opportunity to move to the coast. So, well, I've always wanted to sort of work in property, whether it was residential valuing or rural valuing or sales and leasing and commercial. I knew I wanted to do that. So I got the opportunity from Toowoomba and thought I'd come straight up here.
Yeah. So you've enjoyed your time on the coast?
Definitely, yeah. We used to holiday in Mooloolaba quite often. So I live at Alex now, so it's a pretty unreal spot. Rains a lot more than what you'd think, not being a local though, but being somewhat of a local, I hope to be now, being 3 years in, it's still a great spot, yeah.
Very good. So look, what led you to joining BNI?
It sort of comes back to just being new to the coast. I've said a couple times in our meetings, and the connections that I made professionally have been fantastic. But we were put into BNI by our directors because we're in a lot of, and you'd know in real estate, like networking is literally 99% of the job.
Yeah.
Um, so that being said, they put someone else that used to work for us that you would remember, went into BNI. Wasn't really his thing. I joined into it, and I've only really cracked into, thriving into it probably within the last 6 months. But the whole process of being there now, though, I've been there probably just over a year now. And personally, the connections that I've made from people like yourself has helped massively outside of my job and inside, obviously. So um, the main reason for joining is probably because I didn't grow up here. I think it felt like I sort of had to. I don't know. Might sound a little bit bad, but it's been exactly what we were expecting, if not tenfold better. But yeah, I just joined to make the connections and meet the right people doing the right things in business on the Sunshine Coast.
Yeah, so that sort of leads into our next question. Yeah, telling me a bit about how you use BNI to enhance your networking within your business. But it took a year or so for you to get into it as well, didn't it? You know, we often hear that sometimes people join and they're straight into it, depending on what business they come in with. But in your case, it's taken a
Mm.
little while to get BNI working effectively for you, and now you're really killing it.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Tony. I think, I guess, yeah. I sort of, I spoke about it this morning as well, where I started treating it like an investment. Um, and it was actually after a conversation with you. We had a one-to-one, and we were talking about another member in the group that sort of wasn't holding up their weight, and it made me think like, right, well, if that's how people view you in the meeting, then how would they view you in your job? Like, if they saw me as slack or behind, or that's probably a good way to explain it. Then they're probably going to assume the same thing in my job as well, and probably not use me. So I started going, well, this is my 1 minute a week where I get to advertise to 40 to 20 people where they cannot move. They have to listen to me. They can't skip it. They have to listen to me. So I try and abuse that in a good way. But yeah, I think it was actually quite quickly after that conversation I had with you, I started actually seeking one-to-ones instead of people just booking them with me and me going, yeah, sure. I started actively seeking referrals. I set out 2 hours a week to sit down and sort of have a think about. I've had a lot of really good ones to Jake recently, which has been good. And yeah, I think it's just
And
more about seeing the value.
I think one of the key things that you've started to do as well in your 60 seconds is you've started to get specific too about your referrals.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
I think that's good because to anyone listening, in the meeting or a visitor, it's very broad. What, in commercial real estate, it's broad, but you've sort of gone after, I want a property owner in this area and someone that owns just
mm,
introductions like that. So I think
mm.
that, yeah, I really think you're going ahead leaps and bounds with it.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
How,
Yeah.
how have you used BNI to solve any problems that you've had in regard to your networking? Have you used people within our chapter, other chapters to help you?
Oh, definitely. It's not just using the people as well. It's also using the things I've learnt. Like, I've never been a horrible public speaker, but I've never been confident. Whereas BNI forces you to do that every week. So, I've become way better at it for my uni as well because I still study. So presenting in that is what has massively helped in that. But in terms of using the people, David Mariozzo has helped me a couple times. He's for those listening, he's the mechanic in our chapter. And there was a time where I had my car, I had a camera in it with the battery was flat, and it was on. It would have been like 5 p.m. on a Sunday, and I thought, I'll just call him because I didn't know anyone else in the area, and he came and got me. He would have been at my place within 15 minutes to give me a jump start. So, and that's not professional. That's all personal, but um I really, I couldn't speak more highly of the group that we have. And yeah, I think to answer your question, it's sort of there's such a mix of different things that I've used it for personally and professionally. Yeah,
Yeah, no, and you get like that, don't you, with your group and even referrals cross chapter, you get to know everyone and the different people in different
definitely.
groups. You become that go-to man. So when it comes to your success in BNI, have you had any great standout stories?
Yeah, I had one recently. It's still story hasn't finished yet because it's still under contract. But a BNI member has purchased a commercial property through me. That property was I listed that, and within 24 hours we had the offer. Slightly higher than what he was expecting. I was actively working with the member in our group to find a property, and I was making the right calls at the time, and ran into someone that was looking to offload one that was perfect for him, and yeah, that was just shy of $1 million, which was pretty good for me at that time because I hadn't done too many solo deals like that. So especially with no online advertising, pretty much an old school handshake deal because they were both pretty much the same bloke,
Yeah.
easygoing, trustworthy, and they both one wanted it gone and one wanted to collect it. So it was that's one, but there's been a few other more personal ones that I've sort of becoming a really close mates with Jake as well, which has been really good. So and hanging out with him outside of work hours. So it's really yeah, the success stories personally and professionally, definitely.
Geez, I hope I don't come across the two of you on the town one night. I can just imagine it. But
Yeah.
oh, look, that's great. Now, apart from making friends with fellow members to form your Saturday night squad, what other advice would you give to anyone listening about joining BNI and getting the most out of it?
I think we can probably push as much as we want to get people to join it, but the best way to uh, give advice to is to just try different chapters. I've probably only visited about 3 different chapters now. And the first time I did was only after being there for over 6 months. And gee, it was such a good experience seeing the different like structure of the group and none of it's binding. Like you can rock up and change your mind and come back another month later. It's and most people will shout you the brekkie and a coffee anyway. So if you're a visitor, so I think for those who are listening that are thinking about going into it, um, you really need to take the leap, I think, and at least give it a go because even if they don't show you what's $30 breakfast buffet going to hurt. So
Yeah, well, you got to, yeah, as you say, find your tribe, right?
definitely.
Yeah, fantastic. So what's next for you and LJ Hooker commercial?
I guess long term, it's continue to grow, obviously. Get a few more people on the team. When we started, we didn't have any admin, so I was doing all my own admin, but we have one now where we have two now, and we have another executive sales as well, helping me out to learn the processes and everything. But I think I need to finish my degree in property economics, and then I would like to become a fully licensed agent as well. And then I guess we could probably see whether I stay in sales or go into valuations or whatever it is. But yeah, using the connections through BNI as well, through not just Sunshine Coast, but interstate, has been really good for uni. I've been speaking to a lot of valuers and just connecting to them through BNI, because it's not a cold call then. I don't have to say, hey, I'm an agent on the coast. I need to talk to a valuer for this assessment. I went through the BNI app to get a hold of valuers and spoke to them. And then as soon as I had that connection to BNI, there was a lot more trust. So that was way easier to have that conversation with those type of people.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because, I mean, we've talked and I've talked about it at our chapter a bit. I mean, I've done it with a few car brokers in the US, found them on the
Yeah,
BNI
right.
app, then stalked them on LinkedIn. And you just have a really open conversation, because
Yeah,
the barrier's down. They realize that you're not in their back doorstep, and you
that's
have these
right. Yeah.
great conversations about
Mm.
trends and, what's going on. So, yeah, if not, I mean, if nothing else, that's just worth being in BNI for itself, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. All right. What's your one core value of BNI that resonates with you?
Mine would be accountability. And I'm still learning this myself, but with having a few different things that we've offered for free, like appraisals and stuff like that, having delays for me to get those done. I was even talking to Mr. Fowler in our meeting this morning, and he was giving me a bit of stick for waiting for an appraisal for a while now. And I just thought, there's a few other people waiting on a few things for me to do, and it's really good that it's friendly nature in our group, obviously, but it's being accountable on what you've promised, and
Yeah.
it's good practice for stuff that might be a little bit more important. And I'm not saying BNI isn't to us, but it's definitely most of the tasks that you're doing that usually are not like the absolute utmost standard of your business. For some people, it is like Stewie; it's his bread and butter.
Mm.
So I think I like accountability, because it's been really good practice to go, okay, well, I've got a little bit of leeway there, and I've got delays, Tony, because yada yada this happened. And we've got a reasonable personal relationship as well as professional. So, but it's still good to show, like, righto, you got to get this done. It's still very important to me. I don't know. I think it's, yeah, accountability and following up, which is in my job in real estate. Following up is That's what sets you aside from good agents and the best agents, is just like constantly following up these people, going, as soon as you get that no, then we'll stop annoying you, but like constantly following up to get something done. So when I see someone doing that to me, I'm like, wow, I really got to hook in, so get that
Yeah.
done.
All right. That's good. Yeah. Good advice. Hey, how can listeners get in touch with you? So where are we finding out? Websites, emails?
How can they find me? Yeah, so ljhookercommercial.com. You'll find us. If you look at Sunshine Coast in the search tab, you'll find our website there. We're on Instagram, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Facebook, we're on all the social medias. Obviously, we're located in Maroochydore and Dewporth Ave, just across the road from the Woolworths entrance in Bryant House is the building, 26 Dewporth Ave. So if you're ever on Dewporth Ave and you're Tony, if you're ever down on near the Dewey on a Saturday, mate, just give me a call.
Yeah, look, and we've got millions and millions of subscribers on this channel, right? So they all want to know.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I've got people writing in live as we're chatting, right? They all want to
Yeah,
know, do
yeah,
you and Jake have your own TikTok account for your Saturday night escapades?
yeah. No, we don't, but I think we should get we might be starting one up with Will Van Den Dungeon as well. He might be joining one together. We'll do a threesome.
Oh my Lord. All right, well, watch this space. We'll get you back on in 6 months' time and see how the
Thanks.
bromance has developed.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me.
All right, Reid, all the best. Thanks for being here.